I think there's like a hunger in society for social tipping points, like very rapid. Social tipping points are rapid, self-affirming changes in the social and economical system that bring about a new normal, so a new stable state, and that's what social tipping points are about. Yeah, so we wrote a letter, and what's been said, within a week there were like more than 120 organizations and people getting behind this message, and our message was really radical, but so many people really got into it, and it was really great. And we also put a press release out, and that made it to a great surprise the front page of Trouw, and also NRC and RTL, and of course the right-wing news, the POW news. And we were really happy with the way it was framed. I'll move this a little bit, like simple measures, and it really can speed up a change. And I think this was really also the power of this letter, because it gave so much hope. And we were inspired by scientists, by the Potsdam Institute. And the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research, they were really the researchers that were behind the research done to the Earth system tipping points that Sven pointed out. That's this thing, and this was Schellnummer, Professor Schellnummer. It's not the most happy name for the climate action because he begins with Shell, but he is working his life with this tipping points, and really depressing. And then we saw a lecture from him on tipping points, and there were not only the physical tipping points but also the social tipping points. And he said the social tipping points are really his hope that we can stay below this 1.5 degrees, because all these tipping points you see here, they will be set in motion when global warming surpasses this 1.5 degree. So that's why we should really keep climate change below. And and because he says climate change isn't moving in a linear way, and we are really lagging behind with our climate action. So so climate change is going like this, and if we want to curb down climate change, also our action will have to be like this, and not linear. And he says, like the measures that are being taken now are really about, not all, but many are about technological innovation that will take effect in like 20 years, or and he says we have to really start working with the technology we already have, and we have to start to bring about these social tipping points that will grow the societal support, that will lower the prices of existing technology and existing sustainable technology, and will shift financial markets, and will shift the norms and behavior of people. And this is really what we need to take into effect. And he also has this beautiful metaphor. He compares our situation with the Titanic. He says the captain of the Titanic, he had 1 minute to steer, and because there's a slowness in the ship to react, but the captain, of course, we know he didn't use this minute. And Professor Schellnummer says we still have this minute, so we can steer, but we must do it now. Otherwise, the climate change ship is also too slow. Because social tipping points there have been there in the history. For example, women's voting rights, the abolition of slavery. Those were all things that used to be normal, there were all civil society organizations who first asked for it, like the plastic example. It wasn't the government that said we have to change this because it's dangerous or bad or unethical. We're all civil society organizations. And it's the same with climate change. There are civil society organizations asking for it. And you see here the social tipping points, it really can move fast. And we're asking the government to not wait for this to happen through civil society action, but really to step in earlier. And this is from the paper that inspired us by Ilona Otto from the Potsdam Institute. And they identified social tipping points, and from their tipping points, we chose 5 tipping points interventions that civil society is already working on, and that the government can speed up easily. And so we have here fossil fuel divestment. It's a measure that can really bring a tipping point very, very fast within a year. And it will shift financial markets, but it only will shift those, it will only bring about shifts in the financial markets if it is backed up by social norms and other things. Otherwise, another investor will step in. So that's also one of the powers of the social tipping point. Since 2011, there are civil society organizations asking for divestment. They step up to their pension funds and their banks, and they say, please take away your money from the fossil fuel industry and redirect this money to the solution to climate change. There are banks and pension funds, they are reacting to it. Not yet in the Netherlands, but in other countries, big pension funds, big state pension funds have divested. How much faster would it go if the government would make a law that really prohibits investments in something that is so bad for our world and our society?
Yeah, which would be really logical. Why not?
And there's also a nice example. Last week in the United States, in Maine, the first law was enforced to really make divestment obligatory. And
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And this is the kind of change we need. And then we're not. Then all those civilians who are putting their spare time in this and doing it next to their jobs. Like last week, there was a big demonstration at the ABP pension funds, and there were civil servants and all kind of people who were really, putting their head out next to the job. But it should really be the government that can really speed it up by just saying, okay, it's forbidden to make this crisis worse. So that's one of our calls to the government. Another one is, it surprised me, but it's in only 2 countries in the whole world, climate education is obligatory. So we're in this big crisis that has so much effect on children, especially, and just in Italy and New Zealand, all children get the same climate education. There's no other country. In the Netherlands, there's geography teachers who are climate deniers. There's kids who learn about climate change from Shell, the first things, and also there are very good and powerful climate teachers and who really teach their kids stuff, but they would be so much helped if this would be obligatory, if climate education would be part of the curriculum. And this would really shift norms and also societal support. And not only in the future, because kids, They talk with their parents about the homework and about what they learn on schools. So it will also affect parents. And apart from lessons on school, climate education should also be more for adults, because the knowledge we really need to learn about climate change, and this will shift norms. But say all these kids have learned this stuff on school about climate change, and that it's bad and we should change. And they step out of school, and the first thing they see is an advertisement by the fossil fuel industry, or advertisement for taking a plane to Thailand or something. And this would really undermine the things that they have learned at school, and also because of the ban on tobacco advertisements. We know that something that is bad for us shouldn't be advertised. And that's why also one of our points is a ban on fossil fuel advertisements, a ban on advertisements by airlines, but also for polluting SUVs, and also for greenwashing. It would really, fossil fuel advertisements should really go the way of the tobacco industry. And this would shift norms very strongly. It would shift behavior, because people would be more inclined to take the train if there's more advertisements for trains instead of for flying. And it would also be very good for societal support for other climate measures, because then now people. I think it's a little bit naive of the government to expect societal support for climate measures when there are still advertisements for the fossil fuel industry all around, and they're on social media, they're in the newspapers, they're everywhere, and this is really undermining the societal support for climate policy. So the government would really help itself if it would remove these advertisements. And it's also about sponsoring of events and sponsoring of sports and of museums, so the fossil fuel industry mustn't be allowed to promote itself and to idealize itself. This is also one of our measures, and the other one is, I mustn't say. I'm going to the next one. This is to stop the fossil fuel subsidies, because right now, fossil fuel industry gets like 20 times more support from governments worldwide than renewable organizations or renewable solutions. So our government is still supporting the old more than the new. And how can government expect us as a society to change our house, to invest in our house when it doesn't give the right example? If you compare it with like a restructuring of a big company, the leaders of the company don't give the good example. They say to their employees, you should change all, but we will still continue the old way. Well, this reorganization will never work. And this is where we're at with our climate transition. It's like we're building the roof, but we haven't laid out the foundation. And the social tipping point measures are all about laying the foundation, because we also want the government to take away regulations and to stimulate new regulations that really put people in the position to to organize and produce and local energy. So, and this would really bring the energy transition closer to people. This will form new bonds between people. Yeah, the decentralized energy transition, it will take effect if the prices will lower, and the prices of those solutions will get lower if fossil fuel subsidies are stopped, for example. If divestment is obligatory, then there will be more, then investors will really see that the government is moving towards a sustainable option, and they will dare to put their investments to the solution instead of betting in the safe side. So as long as the government is betting on the safe side, what they see as the safe side, the fossil fuel side, investors will do the same. But if the government says, okay, it's over and out, we're going to stop the fossil fuel subsidies, we're going to stop the fossil fuel advertisements, and we'll make it, we will oblige in, but also investors will make this step towards, they will feel more secure investing in the solution, and this will bring about new kind of solutions, and this will lower the prices, which will enable people to make sustainable solutions in their neighborhoods, and they can exchange energy with neighbors. And also sustainable behavior proves to be contagious, because if one neighbor has solar panels, it isn't long before the neighborhood has solar panels. And this contagious aspect of the society we have to trust upon.
Yeah.
And we need the government to take away regulation that blocks this, and we need the government to imply regulation that will speed it up. And for example, Remco mailed me today with the solution, and he said at this moment all energy is taxed the same, and but if you tax the fossil fuel energy more, and you take away the taxes from the green energy, then the green energy will get much cheaper, and this will really speed up the developments for the green energy sector. So it's all kind of, these are the social tipping points we are talking about, and the government, the ideas are there, it's all there, but the government can step up and speed them up. So we have been working for years. Some have been working for decades on those solutions, and we really need the government now to step in and speed things up, and then we can get going and help the government getting to this climate goal. Because from now on, I think numbers vary between, we have to reduce emissions like 7% till 10% a year, and that's huge. Yeah, you see, this is pre-corona. You see the drop in the Second World War. That was like 6% or something. When the collapse of communism, there was a big drop in emissions. Last year with corona, it's dropped 7%, and this is the percentage we need. And but this is the start of the percentage we need. So from now on, we should drop emissions from 7 and down, and that we can only bring about by adding a social tipping point strategy to climate policy. So a social tipping point strategy isn't the only climate policy, but it's indispensable. And this graph is from the Ilona Otto paper, and you see here the purple line, and this is the social tipping point interventions line, and this is the way we need this. It's the social tipping point intervention. It's like the basis of all climate policy. It should have been the first measures, but we're not too late to imply them. And because they bring about societal support, they bring about social norms and behaviors, and these will directly also reduce emissions. And they will, I told you, they will lower the prices and of sustainable technology, and this will also, this will account for more social support. So it's really helping the government to get to its goals. And if not, it's right now the transition is basically technological and financial, but where's the society aspect and another kinds of policy? It's very normal to also see the society as a force for change.